Dear cadets, a very good morning to you all. How are you? I hope you all are fine at your sweet home with your near and dear ones. Cadets, are you cautious about the fact that the whole world is going through corona pandemic? Due to this global crisis, our country has also locked down itself for a few months. And so, we have to take your online classes because your studies cannot be stopped, right? Okay, dear cadets. First of all, I'd like to mention what we learned in the previous class. In the previous class, we discussed about definition of modifiers, different types of modifiers, how to use modifiers in different parts of a sentence. And our today's topic is connectors. On this topic, we'll have two classes, and this one is the first class. Dear all, first of all, you need to know your learning outcome. That is, what will you be able to learn after this lesson? At first, you'll be able to learn some new vocabularies. Then, you'll be able to grasp different types of connectors. And you will understand the proper use of connectors in the proper place, both while speaking and writing. My dear cadets, first of all, you need to know what connector is. Otherwise, you'll not be able to apply it in different sentences. So let's know about it. Okay. Connectors are used to link large groups of words like phrases and sentences. You can also use them to connect paragraphs to give them coherence. Sentence connectors are usually placed at the beginning of a sentence. Dear all, I hope these points are clear to you. Before applying the connectors in different sentences, we need to know a few examples of connectors. Then, that will be easier for you to do exercise. At first, let's know different categories. The first category is sequencing. And in sequencing, what may come? Okay. There may come at first or firstly at the beginning of a sentence. Then you may use furthermore. After that you can use moreover, and then you may use finally, and at last you can use last, lastly, or last of all. Okay, so you need to maintain this sequencing while using connectors in different sentences. Our next category is order of importance. That is, which thing to give importance at first and which thing to give importance later. First of all, you can write down most importantly and then primarily. After that, you can use above all. Then, most significantly. And for giving more emphasis to something, you can use essentially or basically. Dear cadets, our next category is particularization. For particularizing something, you can use the following connectors. At first, you can use in particular or particularly. Then, you can use more specifically. For mentioning some examples, you can use for example, for instance, or to illustrate. My dear cadets, now it's your turn to do some exercise. But I'm going to help you in doing that. At first, see, for the category sequencing, you can follow this rule. Here, see the exercise. If you start a sentence like, I'd like to talk about the benefits of having a pet pig. So, what will you tell in the next sentence? See, dash. Pet pigs are cleaner than dogs. So what can you use here for making sequencing clear? You need to understand it. Dear cadets, at first, what will you use? Yes, you will use here at first or firstly. Okay, so firstly, pet pigs are cleaner than dogs. Then see the next sentence. Dash, they are completely loyal to their owners. So what will you use here? You can use, secondly, they are completely loyal to their owners. Next one, see. Dash, their impressive numeracy skills must be mentioned. What will you use here? You can say, thirdly, their impressive numeracy skills must be mentioned. After that, what will you use? Here, dash, you might want to consider how cute they look in pajamas. So, you can make sequencing according to your own choice here. It's your task to do, okay? Next one is dash. You can always count on your pet pig to perform some tricks for you when you'd like to impress a pretty girl. After that, dash. They don't eat much. So, dear cadets, according to the examples given in the previous slide, you can use those in this exercise, okay? Let's see some other examples. About that pet pig, you can say, furthermore, they make wonderful walking buddies. Then, moreover, they will show you the way home when you get yourself lost. And at last, you can tell, finally, pet pigs are fantastic girls. No burglar would ever have the heart to hurt a pet pig. Dear cadets, see the terms heart and heart. Here, two things mean differently. At first, H-E-A-R-T, heart. See the spelling. This is a soft organ of our body. And next one is H-U-R-T, heart. This one means to attack someone or give someone pain. And before that, there is a new vocabulary, that is burglar. Dear cadets, it's a task for you to know this term, okay? Our next one is order of importance. So here, how you will give importance to something and how you will not give importance to something. That will be mentioned or that will be illustrated in the following examples. So at first, see, I'd like to talk to you about how to keep calm at your workplace. Most importantly, never go to the canteen while your boss is there. So at first, you have used the connector most importantly. Next, you'll have to focus on your immediate surroundings, primarily on your computer screen. After that, above all, don't ever look up from your notes when people are around. And finally, most significantly, avoid eye contact at all costs. So, dear cadets, you have seen the order of importance in the following 4 sentences, where how you will use the connectors in different sentences. At first, you have used most importantly, then primarily, then above all, and at last, most significantly. Our next category is particularization. Here, see, in order to particularize something, you need to follow the following rules from the following examples. Dear cadets, before that, I'd like to mention one thing, that you need to learn through inductive process. That is, if you learn the rules through examples, that will be more effective for you because you'll be able to remember that for a longer period of time. So at first, see, nearly a third of marriages end in divorce. In particular, it's middle-aged couples that yearn for much more from life. Dear cadets, firstly see, here, nearly a third of marriages. What does A mean here? Here, A means 1, okay? And next, see which connector has been used here. We have used in particular here. After that, there is also another thing to learn, that is, yearn for much more from life. So you have learned that after the term yearn, there will always come the preposition for, okay? Do not forget it. Next, couples tend to argue about financial issues. More specifically, they argue when one of them is out of work. Then, to solve this problem, you might want to try making small gestures. For example, making your spouse's favorite meal for dinner or giving him a message after a tiring day. At last, appreciate the small things your spouse does for you. For instance, leave thank you notes for them every now and then. So, dear cadets, how have you seen the sequencing of particularization? At first, we have used in particular, then more specifically, then for example, and finally, for instance. Dear all, for example, and for instance mean the same. and in particular and more specifically are almost same but not totally same, because in particular means just which particularizes something individually, while more specifically means that here a comparison is implied. That is, there is something which is important and this one is more important than that thing. So we have used here more specifically, okay? That's all for today, dear cadets. Before that, I'd like to give you homework that will enhance your skill. Your homework is make new sentences using all the connectors taught in today's class. So what will come here? Let's go back to our previous slides. So at first, you will use the examples of sequencing and make sentence, then order of importance and make sentence. After that, particularization, and with all those examples, make sentence. And then, in order to make correct sentence, you can follow the following examples given in today's class. Dear cadets, I hope you all are studying sincerely at your home. Though we are going through global crisis, we need to keep moving on. We cannot stop because life will move on and we need to go on side by side. So if we stop our studies, that will hamper ourselves in the long run. For that very reason, dear cadets, I hope you all will be sagacious enough to understand, to realize the situation and study seriously at your home. And at last, I'd like to remind you of the most important issue, that is the COVID-19 fact. This pandemic has already taken away so many lives. So we all need to be careful, right? You must be careful at your home. Please do not go outside. Stay home and stay safe. Motivate your siblings and your parents not to go out and use mask if it is dire need to go outside. Wash your hands frequently with hand sanitizer and keep yourselves clean every moment. Okay? So I hope you will follow, and you are already